Hey, hi. So this video is having a part 1. So before watching this video, check out the part 1 so that you have a basic context of what we are doing in this video. And yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's get started. Now what happens if you're searching, if you're typing on the search? So this is where you can take a note. That is, whenever someone is searching, there are two use cases. Either they are searching because they have heard something like from their friend and they just instantly they want to take action on it. Second, they have just found it on a banner or something, they have heard about it and they just want to watch list it. So here the same thing is happening. The user has typed Microsoft and the app shows you if the user is having any investment in it. It is also showing you how much you own. I would suggest, like, if we can add more, if you're doing in some similar way, if you're taking inspiration of this, we can show the price also. As a, if you just imagine, if you have hundreds of stocks, you might remember one or two, you will just go search on it and you will directly take an action on it. So make it more accessible. So you can add price. But here what Robinhood has done is they have shown you with search, you can bookmark, and you have also the insights of what you're holding. So three things in one view. Individually it is dependent upon how the user will be taking action, so that is there. So bookmark is also like, see, it's like adding. It's not like something like bookmark icon which we see like this one, or normally in Indian applications we can see as a star. So none of these two icons are used. They have used plus and tick mark, which means they are making it much more interactive, much more personalized, that they have added it. But here second perception comes in as what it means, like adding. For if you're making for Indian content, or if you're making for mass adoption, they might think wrongly that add means they have booked it, or they have reserved it. So that particular assumption should not come. So that is there. Next is payment. So we all have seen that different applications have different way of showing payment screen. And but what I liked in Robinhood is once you select a payment option, you can add a backup also, which doesn't happens in India mostly, because everyone here will be having one account as a primary and another account for normal things, which they don't may not like to add as a backup. But this is the same thing which happens in when you're creating a Gmail account. So when you're creating a Gmail account, it is advised to add a recovery address, recovery phone number, recovery email. In a similar way, if one payment method doesn't works out, it could be based on different reasons like server issues and everything, which we have also seen in different fintech applications like phone pay, Paytm. If you have multiple accounts and one of them is not having much more success rate, the app itself says that to go for another one. So it's like eliminating the edge cases. So the same thing is happening here in the Robinhood. So here the edge case would be the payment option doesn't work. It could be about different it could be because of some other reasons, but as an app, the if the user want to take an action, they want to trade it and instantly buy stuff, there should be no blockers. So this is what Robinhood has done. They added a backup payment method. They are asking it, and it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory to do it. The user can skip it, but it is much more advised to do it. So that is what is happening in the payment screen. Next, we have, if you are buying something like on the Robinhood, and how that particular flow is. So this is what I found. So when you confirm, so normally we have seen this one, like it's been like old, everyone is doing the swipe to confirm one, but Robinhood has taken the habit of the user of how now people in India or mass people, everyone is habituated with the swipe up thing, because swipe to left to right was a interaction introduced by iPhone, and it went away. And now even on the Android devices and on the shorts and reels and Instagram that everyone is using, even kids are using, they have that gesture of swiping up. So Robinhood has kept that into their application, into their app. So if you're doing swipe up, that means you're confirming it and it is about to be submitted. And once you do that, the whole screen turns into a green background. As per the accessibility, this green color is not much more accessible. It fails all the cases of AA and AAA, but it looks good. And I hope that Robinhood might have done the study that what is their user base who are using this application, but this is not much accessible. And if you're a founder and if you are looking for to create something for accessible people also, you should be considering that when you're doing the design of your logo, and when you are deciding about the colors that you're going to use in the whole application, all of them are much more accessible. It is easier for users to read, because if your application is being used by the older people, they might not be able to read it, and it can lead to something mishap, so which you need to eliminate, obviously. Next, you have information once the order is queued or it is completed. You can see it, and that's it. So this is a simple three-way flow, but something that I want to bring it into your attention is the swipe up gesture. And mostly eliminate the swipe left to right, but as of I think both are easily accessible in sense both are intuitive and can be done. Any of the will work. Next, let's go deeper into the design of the home screen, which we have seen. So this is what notations that I have.
made. So you can see the same thing, like if the stocks are going in a green, it will be green. There is setting icon in like accessible for the user in the charts if they want to change the chart. Then they have upcoming activity. So you have seen the previous one, the flow, that the stock was queued. So this queue stuff is something I have seen in the many apps. And so normally stocks, if you consider about the stocks, they have a limited time period, like market opens and market closes. But most of the people, whenever they have money, for the insecurity of whether I will be able to do it tomorrow or not, and I want to take the action, they queue it. They just deposit it and let the money go there. Because Indian mentality, I'm saying, people here are very conservative, and they would take the action if it is good instantly and see the consequences later, and they don't want to waste money. So queuing stuff is also good, and that's it. So you can see that the two actions queued. On clicking on the arrow, they can see the information. Next thing which I really liked is you have your positions, your information, and other things that are very common, like shares you can show, which is very common. Market value is also good. Average cost is good. Portfolio diversity with a pie chart. This is where you are giving a visual clue to the user, and it's also work like a risk diversification chart. Means if you have only 8.67%, it's okay, it's a green. What if it is 100% or 99% of your whole portfolio? That is a risk. And about this particular risk diversification thing, I have talked in my previous video about UX print, which you can find it on the information button, and I will also link it in the description. So go and check it out, because that's where I have talked why this particular pie chart, or there's another chart like area chart for risk diversification, and which is very important in multi-instrument applications such like Robinhood and other apps which provide you multiple options to invest in gold, mutual funds, stocks, and etc. So this is a visual clue for the user to know whether all of their eggs are in one basket or not, and they need to diversify that. Next, we have today's return and total return. And if you observe it, as I told you, if the market is going up, the whole UI is in green. If the market is going down, the whole UI is in red. But that will not be applicable onto your position stuff, which is if it's going minus, if even it is going plus. Because if you see visually, the chart is taking the much more attention, and the button is taking. So if you add the color code to the today's return and total return also, there will be different things that will be taking attention for the user eye on the screen, which is not a good, because there are only two things that user need to take action. One is chart, see it, what is the previous trend and what could be the future trend, and click on the button. That's it. None of the other things will matter. So that's the main reason the today's return and total return doesn't have that color code added to it. And it's also recommended, because if you add everything in a red and green everywhere, it might trigger them to take instant action without thinking. So we don't want to create a panic situation within the screen. So that could also be a good note to be taken if you're a designer and a founder stuff. And if you can see that there is another thing is there, individual. So your thumb, like in a app, the changing of account is also accessible for you. So whenever you are designing, just have a point that you can add portfolio diversification with a clue, and also you can add a bottom a sub navigation, not the main navigation, which can have much more usability actions that user would like. Next is more information, and you can see here, if you are seeing Microsoft, and they have shown the current CEO, not the founder, not the other person, but the CEO. The reason is because CEO is the person who takes the major decisions, the main decisions, and direct the shares or direct the company's growth. So having that information instead of having the founder information is really a good one. So a good thing to have. Next, we have news, and if you see the news also, so most of the stocks have an impact whenever there is something related to their shares, related to their product. So here we have image and we have information. A three-liner information is more than enough for user to understand. And the publisher, what I would be adding if I would be designing is a single icon of the publisher, because most of the people may not recognize the name of the publisher, but they could recognize the logo of it, and that, and what time, like how ago it was shared, and what was the impact, which you can see in the bottom. So as this particular report, as this particular news came out, there is an impact on the stock which is visible to the user. So this is about news. Next, we have different other sections like analyst ratings, like what. So all of these, if you see, if you see the whole screen, in the first, Robinhood is showing you the chart. Then they are showing you what is your buying power. Then they are showing you some information about the cash which is there, or how much return that you're getting. Then they are showing you the activity. Then they are showing you the more information that would be helpful for you. Then they are showing you different analysts, news, trading trend, and different things. So if you consider all of these now, the screen itself in a single scroll view, like even in the inside the home only, they are trying to make you take the decision. They are trying to make you the decision to either buy it if you didn't buy, creating a FOMO, and if you have bought it and if something is going down, they are making you take the action instantly, because you're scrolling, and the actionable buttons which you can see are always interacted with the bottom navigation. So that is there.
Hey, thanks for checking out the part 2, and I really appreciate that. And the part 3 is here. You can click on it and go and watch it. and also the link for part 1 and part 3 are in the description. So yeah, that's it.